All right, leaving out for the Grand Canyon. Gonna get to the campground and then check with the backcountry office and make sure everything's squared away, find out where to park. And then planning to meet Jen up at the South Rim, Bright Angel Trailhead, around midnight, drive over to the North Rim by 4 and start on the trail by 4. So, full day. There's a lot of ways this could go sideways, but we'll just deal with it as it comes. So, see you up there. So this is the south entrance to the park. I'm settled in at the campground and going into the backcountry information center to try to get some info on the trail and where to park and that sort of thing. And this is the line. Been here for 10-15 minutes already. Yeah. Busy day. It's a Sunday. All right, we're gonna go find the trailhead. I got the all clear from the backcountry info center. We're gonna go find the trailhead for tomorrow. Okay, so this is the scouting of the Bright Angel South Rim trailhead the day before. That canyon there to the right, upper right now, is Bright Angel Creek Canyon, and that is where the trail comes down. These are some switchbacks. You actually can't see the North Rim Visitor Center from here without binoculars, but it would be down that canyon. Busier than I thought. Turns out the opening of the North Rim on May the 15th every year is kind of a sentinel event for people, I guess. A lot of people flock to the trail during this hike, and I think it's just for the opening of the trail. A lot of people are trail running, which is kind of ridiculous, but yeah, had a good time. Weather was good. You can see Bright Angel Trail here. And these were some people finishing up. This was actually the 15th that I was scouting, so this would have been the day of the opening. The visitor center was closed. The shop was still open, which is kind of weird, but park was pretty busy. So I don't know if you can see, there's just a bare little bit of light out there. But so Jen just dropped me off. It's a little busy up here, but gonna start the trail. Had to start a little ways away from the Kaibab Trail, which we found out is further down. So gonna walk down to it and get started. Gonna be an awesome day. Alright, buttload of people here. We are starting the Kaibab Trail. You can kind of see here the headlamps of people going down the switchbacks. It's like little fireflies in the night. This was about 4:30. The sun finally came up around 5:30 to 6, I guess. This is one of the tunnels. So there is a transport shuttle that runs from the South Rim to the North Rim, but that was fully booked out for May. Apparently May, the opening of the North Rim, is kind of a big deal, and people booked that out way ahead of time, and COVID made that a little bit more complicated. So I had to find other arrangements. The other thing with the shuttle is that it would, I think the run times are like 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. to deliver you to the North Rim. That's departure times, so you would arrive 4 hours later than that. So you'd still have to stay somewhere on the North Rim. There's not a whole lot of lodging over there. There is a lodge on the North Rim, so unless that's open and it books out pretty early, you'd be hard-pressed to find somewhere to lodge. So like I said, I had to find a different arrangement, but I brought the camper up the day before. I wanted to do some scouting on the South Rim, and I think I said that was the day of the opening, but it was actually the day after the 16th. So my arrangements was my good friend Jen from work was awesome enough to drive 4 hours out to meet me at the campground. So after scouting, we both had dinner and then slept for a few hours until about midnight, and then took off in her truck around midnight to the Grand Canyon, where I dropped off my truck at the visitor center. And it was cool overnight. I just left my national park pass in the windshield. So from there, we went another 4 hours up around to the North Rim, which, if you know the Grand Canyon at all, there's no direct way to the North Rim. While it's only like 25 miles across, you have to drive 4 hours and I don't know how many miles all the way around the circuitous route up to the next bridge over the Grand Canyon, which is up near Page, and then over to the North Rim, which is another pretty long drive in a remote area. Didn't see any snow or mud or ice, but I think it's been kind of a dry season for them, and it has been for us kind of in New Mexico and Arizona in general. So there wasn't as much snow as usual. Still, I think it would probably be melted out by that time most of the year. I did stop by the backcountry visitor center and kind of got some info, and they said, you know, there's no ice, no snow, no mud. So I didn't bring micro spikes or cleats with me on this one. But anyway, transport was kind of an interesting issue. Like I said, had a really good friend that did me a huge favor and got me up there to start this trip. So the plan was to hike back to the south rim where my truck would be, and then drive back to the campground where the Airstream was after that. And Hiker did a great job and was cool for the amount of time that it took me to do this. He was just chilling out in the camper when I got back. So I did actually cave and upgrade to the iPhone 12 Pro for this. I knew that would be my camera of choice on the trail. I hiked kind of light and didn't want to take a big camera with me, but I knew this would be a big trip and I didn't want to have subpar photo quality. I've been pretty happy with the iPhone 10 XS Max, but yeah, wanted the best for this. I knew it was a little bit better in low light. That waterfall you saw back there was actually the start of Bright Angel Creek, which goes through this whole canyon here and empties out into the Colorado River at Phantom Ranch. This is Bright Angel Creek here that we're going over on the bridge. But anyway, yeah, upgraded to the iPhone 12 Pro. My camera setup was that with the DJI OM4 gimbal. It's the magnetic Osmo gimbal. I took the Rode Wireless Go mics with me, but I ended up not using them. It was so busy on the trail that for the most part I didn't want to set up the whole camera setup every time. So I ended up just using the native audio off the iPhone 12 Pro, which worked out pretty well. And then sometimes I used the audio off the Apple AirPods Pro, which is pretty good. And it also tends to kind of isolate some of the ambient sounds around you too. This is again Bright Angel Creek, and then we're looking up at some of these cliff walls here are not the actual rim walls. In fact, these aren't. So the rim walls are actually much higher, which is kind of crazy to think about. So I'm thinking this is Phantom Ranch. Could be wrong. We'll see. So this actually ended up being Cottonwood Campground, which is the first campground from the North Rim. Phantom Ranch is quite a ways down, probably another 10 miles down this canyon. But yeah, pretty little area. Multiple campsites in here. It's right along Bright Angel Creek. Pretty sheltered. In the afternoon it might get full sun, I don't know. But we just kind of keep making our way along here, and so there's a bit of washout in the camera with the sun. And you can see it. Beautiful big open skies. Really a pretty area along here. A lot of these little trails that just kind of meandered along the side of the creek here. They went progressively, lower into the canyon as you lower down the rim, and then you end up over here. I brought 3 liters for this. I had a Camelback 28-liter pack, I believe, that I usually use, and it's just a 3-liter bladder. And that got me to Phantom Ranch, and they have water fill up there, and there were other water fill-ups along the way, so I wouldn't really worry about water. I also had a Sawyer filter and bag that I could have gotten water from the creek if I had to, and filter it. But water wasn't really an issue here. I had electrolyte stuff with me, and I should have used it. By the end of the trip, I probably had lost a lot of sodium. I had like salt caked down my face. So I should have used it. I was pretty worn out, and I think it was just electrolytes and calories being low, so I should have used that earlier on. But water itself was not an issue out here. I did start with, I think it was mid-40s on the North Rim at 4 a.m. So I did start with a puffy coat, which I shed pretty quickly by the time I got down the switchbacks into the lower part of the canyon. And after that, it was just a tank top. I think I had a t-shirt with me too that had over the tank top, and I took that off at some point because it got warm. Thankfully, the end of the day was kind of overcast. Going up the south rim switchbacks were pretty exhausting, and it was in overcast weather, so it was not super hot, not super sunny. It probably would have been a whole lot worse were it to be super hot and sunny. Like I say, I was already kind of low on electrolytes, and probably more importantly calories. I should have brought some high calorie stuff like Pop-Tarts or Honey Buns or Snickers or something. We had like a steak the night before and some veggies, and then I had something small that morning, and I snacked throughout the day, but if the watch was correct, it was like 5,000 plus calories, so well over anything I had brought. We just keep making our way through the canyon here. Like I say, there's plenty of water, at least at this time of the year. I don't know if it gets a little more sparse later. Tons of super pretty waterfalls. It is literally like a garden here. So pretty. There are these yucca plants all over, and
cactus everywhere.
Oh, what do you call it? Prickly pear cactus all over. There seemed to be like a bigger and a smaller variety of those, and then a lot of these yucca had these huge stalks on them, which you don't really see a lot of other places. I don't know if this was just the weather at the bottom of the canyon or if it was something else, but yeah. Super interesting though. Alright, so there's the south rim. That's where we're headed. Phantom Ranch should be up next. Take an hour lunch and refresh a little bit, and then head up. Alright folks, we are here at Phantom Ranch finally. Cool. Probably gonna go out to the river though. I found that Phantom Ranch itself was kind of a ramshackle little collection of small houses and huts. This is the Silver Bridge, or the Bright Angel Bridge over Colorado River. It's super pretty. There's a river trail that runs up on that cliff there that I took as a side trail. It takes you over to the Black Bridge or the Kaibab Bridge. A lot of construction down here for, you know, as remote as this is. They've done a lot of work. Later on you'll see there's some helicopters actually dropping supplies into the Phantom Ranch area. But yeah, Silver Bridge, looking down on the Colorado. This is a little, probably over halfway, maybe 16 miles out of 23 or 26. It ended up being 26 for me, just with some side trails that I took, which this river trail coming up is part of it. And the river trail is 2 miles around. Super cool little precarious kind of trail that links these two bridges together. So it's high up on the cliffs there and it's down on the river. I think people have said in other years the Colorado would be higher. I expected a much muddier river, but at least today it was super clear, and that may have been because of lower water levels. Not as much snow melt off as they usually have. Still a super pretty day. The clouds kind of rolled in after lunch, maybe 1, 2 o'clock, and got progressively cloudier to the point that the north rim was kind of covered in cloud, and they even got some snow, it looked like. And this is the river trail, just kind of perched up here, a little rocky, just up on this ledge. And it takes you like 1.5 to 2 miles over to the other bridge. It might be shorter than that. It did add a little bit to the total distance. Great views looking down on the river. So you can barely see it, it's kind of just tucked away on the side of this cliff. It's looking down on the river, you can see how clear it is. Just a beautiful spot. That's a little stable down there to the right. This is the helicopter drafting supplies in, which is super cool to watch. Quite a few of them came in. It's actually a pretty large crate. It drops down in the stable area. But when you think about it, there's probably not a whole lot of a better way. There's no trucks coming in to deliver stuff. They've got the big teams. These trails are really suitable for carts or wagons or anything like that. So that's what you get supplies in. Easy town. It just kind of slowly lowers it into the stable area. It drops in, so guys can collect it there. There's also kind of a landing pad right there at the, you can see it from here, but there were a few helicopters that landed and took off from there. Let's see what's down there. Looks like touchdown. Yes. The cabin is still there if I remember right. Yeah. I don't know if they reel it up or whatnot. So it could be the guys at the bottom unhooked it from the big delivery, but then it just goes on back towards the north rim. This is coming down the trail, the river trail, towards the little tunnel leading to the Black Bridge, or the Kaibab Bridge, which leads back towards Phantom Ranch. And you could have come up this way. There's another little parallel trail that goes along the shore, and you could take this trail up and over to Bright Angel. Kind of steep. You can't really see. It's hard to tell that the Black Bridge is actually going through a tunnel until you get down to it here, and then you kind of turn around and realize it's tucked into the hillside here. But coming up on the tunnel. Pretty much full sun at this point. I did bring sunscreen. I don't think I used it actually, and I didn't end up being that burned, but you definitely want it if it, especially if you finished in full sun, you definitely want it. There's another little off trail here that would lead down to the river in a little kind of crevice here.
Huh? What you doing?
Yeah, got a little bit of wildlife here. I know the Grand Canyon's been around for a while as a park, but some of the engineering here is really, really interesting. A lot of work went into this. As with most of the parks, the Civilian Corps, Conservation Corps, something like that, of engineers, I guess. I think that was a Roosevelt project, did a whole lot of work on this. And work's been done over the years, so. And this would be the Black Bridge over the Colorado River. See there? A lot of the rock walls around the river here are just like straight down to the river. There's some boats over here to the left that are loading up for some rafting, which would be pretty fun. There is no swimming in this river, I believe, and from some of the currents you can see from above this bridge, you can understand why. It's easy to get swept up, and there's also kind of eddy pools and whirlpools and stuff like that that you definitely wouldn't want to get into. And if the water level was higher, it might be, you know, even worse, but it would definitely be a fun river to raft for sure. And that area right there is where I'm going for lunch. A little rocky area, put my feet in the creek and enjoy some time by the river. Super pretty view. Alright, and this little beautiful little beach here on the Colorado is going to be my spot for lunch. Okay. And this right here, gonna be lunch. A bunch of salty snacks. So just having lunch, soaking my tired feet in the Colorado River. Watching some rafts go by. Yep. 16 and a half miles down, about 10 more to go. And it's gonna be, you can see the Bright Angel Bridge over there. It's gonna be that way. It's gonna be a ways. That up there is not the rim of the Grand Canyon. That's lower. It's gonna be a ways. Yeah. Anyway, gonna let the devices finish recharging back up and then head that way. Alright, so recharged, had some ibuprofen, got the phone and the watch powered back up. So I think I'm gonna head out and start towards the top. Might take a while. gonna fill up with water first. There should be potable water here at this Bright Angel campground. So gonna hit that and then get on the way. All right, this is it. Water's reloaded. Gonna start the Bright Angel Trail. Heading home. It's been a blast. Still got a lot of work out ahead of me. But we'll see you back on the trail. Alright guys, somehow we gotta get way up there. Yeah, let's see how it goes. So we are making our way up Angel Bright Trail. Quite the leg and knee workout. At this beautiful site though. Storm came in, dusted the mountains. He'll probably be gone as soon as the snow comes, or as soon as the sun comes out. Pretty awesome. Okay, somewhere up there is our destination. We're getting near the end, 4.6 miles to go. Not really sure where we're gonna make our way up, but yeah. Okay, I think I see the way up. It's gonna be here. Switchbacks. And switchbacks up there. Could be a beast. So we've reached the rim walls. Now we're going behind one of the walls. So we got 1.75 miles left. This last little bit's been a beast. Definitely didn't bring enough calories for this. Lesson for next time. Water's still holding out. If I finish this, it'll go through 6 liters. It was not super hot out today. And it's gonna stay for the sunset, but I am pooped. And it's pretty overcast. So I think I'll pack it in. Let's see if there's any pizza around. So the end of the trail was pretty brutal. Kind of the reverse of the hiker's axiom, which is what goes up must come down. But unlike a summit, this was all downhill for the first and all uphill at the very last, which, you know, as a summit, your summit's kind of in the middle of a hike, and then you head downhill, and it's, you know, as they say, all downhill from there. Well, this was all uphill from there. And at the point where you're most tired in your hike, and like I said, I think I was lagging behind on electrolytes and calories. But made it nonetheless, one step at a time. As with backpacking, you just put one step in front of the other and keep making a step, and you make progress, even if that's a little bit at a time. Like a summit, the last 2 miles of this took quite a while. There is also the elevation thing, which I had been at this elevation for a while, but nonetheless, pretty brutal. Kept thinking about the What About Bob scene where he's walking down the street.
Good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. I feel good.
And also, it reminded me of Finding Nemo.
Big girls. When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim, swim.
Dorino singing.
But after a long afternoon, I finally arrived at the top around 4 p.m. Started at 4 a.m., so about 12 hours to finish. An amazing journey. Alright, I thought I'd do a quick demo of what I brought to the Grand Canyon. I kind of have my everyday to-go bag that's got just my daily carry stuff in it. So I took a few things from that, and then I've got three other bags. There's a kind of quick light bag that's pretty much just a camelback bladder. There's this, which is a little bit more of a hiking bag. I think it's a 14-liter bag. And then I've got an Arc'teryx backpack. So this is the one I took with me. I'll get that out and then show you what else I took with me on the trip. All right, so it's actually a 24-liter pack. That's what I was trying to get for. So I took that. I took a hat. I actually didn't end up using that. Took some sunblock, which I actually didn't use. The last part of it, which was the sunny part of the Grand Canyon, was pretty overcast, so I didn't end up using that. I took hiking poles. They're put away right now. It's kind of hard to get out. I ended up not using them, so but I had them with me in case I did. For my everyday pack, sunglasses. Took a wallet. Let's see. Emergency poncho if I needed it. Glasses bag. Mask if I needed it. I didn't. Multi-tool there. I took a GoPro mount. Let's see. Emergency whistle. Emergency fire starter. And earphones, didn't end up using them, just used the AirPods and multi-charge cable. And I think that's everything from this bag that I took. Yep. As far as food, what I took was 2 of these hickory smoked tuna packages, 2 of these little energy packs. They're like caffeine chews, 2 Cliff Bars. These little electrolyte supplement things, didn't end up using those. Bag of Cheez-Its and a bag of beef jerky, which is gone now, so. I wanted mostly salty snacks to replenish the sodium loss from the sweat, so that's kind of what I had there. As far as filming, I took the iPhone 12 Pro. I caved and upgraded from the 10 XS Max just for this trip. Being that it was such a big trip, I wanted the best camera I could get for an iPhone, which is what I had there. Brought the DJI Osmo OM4 gimbal, and then brought a GoPro as a backup camera in case something happened to it. Didn't end up using it. Brought the Rode Wireless Go mics, which is what I'm using right now to record this. Didn't end up using those. The trail was so busy, most of the time I just planned to do voiceover. So that's kind of the plan there. This pack has a 3-liter camelback bladder. So went through about 3 liters for the first part of the hike, refilled at Phantom Ranch, and used the last 3 liters for the last part of the hike. So 6 liters total. So I started out with my puffy coat for the first 4 miles of the hike. We started out at like 4 a.m., so it was kind of chilly and there was a wind up. Didn't use it after that. Took a thermal layer as well, but never used it. Just used the same black Under Armour tee that I have on now. I still got to wash them and they're pretty dirty, but around Phantom Ranch converted to a just a tee, Patagonia. And I used these pants for the full thing. These are a Prana Zion convertible pant that I've used for years. They're really awesome. You can unzip them. A lot of people were saying in the walkthroughs for the trail that you either want gaiters or you want long pants because of all the sand can get in your shoes and start causing blisters. So I just used long pants and it did fine. I ended up having one blister. It never caused any problems on the trail. It's not really where I expected it. I just kind of noticed it later. But just one blister for 26.5 miles. These were the shoes I used for the hike. I've washed them off since, but they are Ultra Lone Peak 4s with, I forget what you call them, but they're like fast zip tie laces. It does cause a bit of pressure kind of on the top of your foot, at least with this, with the 4. But I like how fast it is, and it worked fairly well. Like I said, one blister, it was on the tip of my left toe, kind of on the side by the nail. It may have been the nail that caused the problem. So anyway, love these shoes. Alright, other than that stuff right here for my backpacking supplies, I have this little watertight bag if you need to put your phone or wallet in it for emergencies. Brought that. Brought some zinc oxide tape. This is the best blister tape ever. It will de-roof a blister trying to get it off, but it really stays on. It's so much better than mold tape. Brought, this is a little kind of my to-go bag for backpacking stuff. Headlamp, had to charge that to go out. Emergency bivouac. Spoon, hand sanitizer, bag for water, filter for water if I needed to get water other than potable. Some Body Glide because sweat causes some chafing, so there's that. Some Kleenex, and a little bag of ibuprofen. Brought Apple AirPods. That was all I needed for music on the trail, and this Anchor power bank, which I charged up beforehand. RAV Power, thought it was Anchor, which combined with this cord can multi-charge a lot of stuff. So at Phantom Ranch, which was kind of midway, I recharged my watch and my phone, and went from there. All right, I think that's everything I brought with me. I did bring a handkerchief, which isn't in here somewhere. But yeah, as usual, brought more than I needed, but you don't want to do that kind of trip and then have something you need out there in the middle of the Grand Canyon. So that's it. Worked well for me, but that's just kind of some of the stuff I took with me. All right, check it out. So this is all the adventures I've been on so far with the Airstream, starting in California and kind of trickling all around down to here. So I've got one more spot on the top here, and it's going to be this rim-to-rim sticker, which is pretty cool.